Something is shifting in your world right now, Leo, and this video is going to show you exactly 11 clear signals that the universe is quietly, deliberately opening a brand new door in your life, and what it means for everything that comes next. You may have felt it already. A strange kind of stirring that does not quite fit the category of excitement and does not quite fit the category of anxiety. It is something in between, something that sits in your chest and hums, something that makes ordinary moments feel charged with a meaning you cannot fully articulate yet. You look at your life and something about the view has changed even if the furniture has not moved. There is a different quality to the light, a different feeling in the mornings when you open your eyes. A sense, faint but persistent, that something is coming, that something is already in motion, that the version of your life you have been waiting for is no longer out in some distant future but is moving toward you right now, one quiet signal at a time. Leo, the universe does not always announce its movements with drama or spectacle. Sometimes the most significant openings begin as the softest whispers. And if you do not know how to listen for them, if you do not know what they feel like when they begin, you can walk right past the door without ever knowing it was there. This video is here to make sure that does not happen. By the time we reach the final signal, you are going to know exactly what to look for, exactly what these moments mean, and exactly how to step through the door that is already opening for you. Stay with me for every single one. Each signal builds on the last, and together they are telling a story that belongs to you. Signal 1. The first clear signal that the universe is opening a new door for you is a feeling of gentle but persistent restlessness. A quiet inner knowing that who you have been and where you have been are no longer quite the right fit, even if nothing on the outside has dramatically changed. This restlessness is different from the restlessness of anxiety or fear. Fear-based restlessness is agitated, frantic, driven by a sense of danger or urgency, pushes you away from things. It creates panic at the edges of your thoughts. But this kind of restlessness, the kind that signals a new door opening, is more like a gentle pull. It is calm even when it is persistent. It says not that something is wrong, but that something new is possible. It says not that you need to run, but that you need to move forward, outward, into territory you have not explored yet. For a Leo, this feeling often arrives after a period of relative stability, or even after a difficult stretch that has finally begun to settle. You have done the hard work. You have navigated the difficult season. And now, in the relative quiet that follows, this restlessness appears, not as a disruption but as an invitation. It is the universe saying you are ready for more. You have earned what is next. And what is next is already beginning. The key to recognizing this as a signal rather than as a problem is to pay attention to its quality. Does it feel desperate? Does it feel like you are escaping something? Or does it feel expansive, like your inner world is simply getting too large for the container you have been living in, and something bigger is trying to hold you? For most Leos who are genuinely on the threshold of a new chapter, the restlessness feels like the latter. It feels like outgrowing, and outgrowing is always the beginning of becoming something more. Do not try to quiet this feeling with more of the same. Do not try to soothe it by filling your calendar with familiar things. Let it speak. Sit with it long enough to hear what direction it is pointing you in. Because right now, that restlessness is not random energy with no destination. It has a direction. And if you listen carefully enough, you will feel it. That gentle but unmistakable pull toward the life that is already forming just beyond the door the universe is opening for you. This is how great transitions begin for Leo. Not with a fanfare, not with a lightning bolt, but with this quiet hum of becoming that starts somewhere below the level of conscious thought and slowly works its way up until you cannot ignore it anymore. You are at that point right now. The hum is becoming a voice, and the voice is saying something very specific. It is saying that who you are is more than what your current circumstances reflect, and that the universe has already noticed, and that the door ahead is already open. The first step is simply to acknowledge the restlessness as the signal it is, rather than the problem you have been treating it as. Pay attention to the moments in your day when this feeling is strongest. Early in the morning, before the demands of the day crowd in. Late at night when the noise quiets down. In moments of stillness that you did not plan for but that arrived anyway. Like small gifts of space in the middle of a busy life. In those moments the signal is loudest. And the more you honor it, the more you treat it as the meaningful communication it truly is, the clearer the direction becomes. Signal 2. The second signal is that old things are falling away with surprisingly little resistance. Relationships that used to require enormous effort to maintain are quietly dissolving. Habits that once had a strong grip on you are becoming easier to release, and circumstances that seemed permanent are shifting in ways you did not initiate and cannot quite explain. This falling away can feel disorienting in the moment. Leo, you are a loyal and devoted sign. When you invest in something, a relationship, a commitment, a way of living, you invest deeply. You do not let go easily. And so when things begin to release themselves from your life without the usual struggle, without the usual grief or drama, it can feel strange. It can feel almost suspicious. You might wonder if you are becoming detached in some unhealthy way, or if you have missed something important, or if you are simply numb. But this is not detachment, and it is not numbness. It is something else entirely. It is the natural clearing that happens when a new chapter is preparing to begin. The universe, in its wisdom, does not force you to hold an old life in one hand while reaching for a new one with the other. It begins to gently loosen the grip of what is finished so that your hands, and your heart and your energy, are free to receive what is coming. The things that are falling away right now are not falling away because they were wrong or bad or wasted. They are falling away because they were right for who you were, and who you are is becoming someone new. Think about what has been releasing itself from your life lately. Not what you have forced out, not the things you decided to leave behind through sheer will, but the things that seem to be leaving of their own accord with a kind of natural ease that surprises you. Those are the things that belong to the chapter that is closing, and their leaving is not a loss. It is a completion. It is the universe tidying the space, clearing the room, making way for everything that the next chapter holds. For Leo, one of the most powerful aspects of this signal is the relief that often accompanies it. You may have been carrying things, people, commitments, old versions of yourself, out of loyalty and devotion long after they stopped truly serving you or truly fitting who you were becoming. And when they finally release, when the grip finally loosens naturally and completely, there is often a profound exhale, a sense of lightness, a feeling of something that was heavy simply lifting. That relief is important. Do not rush past it. Let yourself feel it fully, because it is the body confirming what the soul already knows. The old has completed its purpose, and the new is on its way. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Signal 3. The third signal that a new door is opening for you is the arrival of unexpected clarity about what you truly want. A sudden, clean, unambiguous knowing that cuts through the fog of indecision and confusion that may have surrounded certain areas of your life for a long time. Leo, you have been navigating a period of uncertainty. Maybe you have not admitted that fully, even to yourself, because uncertainty is not your most comfortable state. You are a sign that prefers to know, to have a direction, to have a plan, to have the kind of confidence that comes from knowing where you are headed and why. And yet there have been areas of your life recently where that knowing has been elusive, where the path has felt murky, where you have been going through the motions without the deep conviction that usually drives you. And now something is changing. The clarity is arriving. Maybe not all at once, maybe in waves, maybe in small moments of sudden recognition, but it is arriving. You find yourself knowing things you did not know before, not just intellectually, but in that deeper place in your body where real knowing lies. You know what you want. You know what you do not want. You know what matters to you and what does not. You know what you are willing to give your energy to, and what you are no longer willing to tolerate. That clarity is not accidental. It is a signal. It is the universe making sure you can see the door clearly enough to walk through it. One of the reasons this clarity feels so significant is that it often brings with it a kind of courage you may have been missing. When you know clearly, truly clearly, at the soul level what you want, the fear of going after it diminishes. Not because the path suddenly becomes easy or certain, but because the rightness of the direction is so undeniable that moving toward it feels more natural than staying still. That courage, arriving alongside the clarity, is one of the most beautiful aspects of this signal. It tells you that the universe is not just opening the door, it is also giving you what you need to step through it. Signal 4. The fourth signal is that synchronicities are increasing, meaningful coincidences that feel too specific and too well-timed to be random, moments where the right information arrives at exactly the right moment, where the right person appears in exactly the right context, or something you were just thinking about appears in your external world as if the universe is winking at you. Synchronicities are the universe's way of confirming that you are on the right track, that the path you are considering is the one that is truly meant for you. They are not superstition. They are not wishful thinking. They are a language, a very specific, very personal language that speaks to you in ways that are designed precisely for where you are in your journey. And when they begin to increase in frequency and specificity, as they are doing for you right now, Leo, it means that the door ahead is very real and very close. Pay attention to these moments. Do not dismiss them as coincidence and move on. Sit with them for a moment. Notice them. Even say to yourself, I see this, I receive this, thank you. Because the act of acknowledgement is not just gratitude, it is participation. When you notice and honor the synchronicity, you are telling the universe that you are awake and aware and ready for what is coming. And that readiness invites more. The synchronicities right now are like breadcrumbs on the path. They are not the path itself. They are the trail markers that keep you moving in the right direction when doubt wants to make you second-guess your steps. Follow the breadcrumbs. Notice the patterns. Trust the timing even when the timing makes no logical sense. For Leo, on the threshold of a new chapter, the synchronicities are among the most reliable signals there are. Signal 5. The fifth signal is that your energy is returning, not all at once, not in one dramatic surge, but in a steady, quiet way that is unmistakable if you are paying attention. Tasks that felt heavy are feeling lighter. Mornings that were a struggle are starting to hold a different quality. You find yourself interested in things again, genuinely interested, not just going through the motions of engagement. For Leo, energy is everything. It is the fuel for your fire, the current through which your gifts flow, the animating force behind everything you create and offer to the world. When your energy has been low, which it may have been for a period that preceded this moment, everything suffers. Your creativity dims. Your relationships feel like effort. Your dreams feel far away. Your own sense of self becomes muted, as if someone turned the volume down on who you really are. But now the volume is slowly, surely coming back up. You feel it in small ways. A morning where you wake up and the first thought is not dread but something more like openness. An afternoon where a creative idea arrives and instead of feeling like you cannot be bothered to pursue it, you feel a genuine pull toward it. An evening where you look at the day that just passed and feel, not just exhaustion, but a sense that something good is building. This returning energy is one of the clearest signals that a new door is opening, because energy always precedes manifestation. Before the external circumstances change, the internal state shifts. Before the new chapter begins in your visible life, it begins in your body, in your felt sense of what is possible, in the quiet but growing conviction that you have more fuel, more fire, more capacity than the recent past suggested. Do not ignore this. Do not push it away by telling yourself it will not last. Receive it. Work with it. Let it build. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Signal 6. The sixth signal is that the right people are beginning to appear in your life, individuals whose presence feels nourishing rather than draining, whose energy adds to yours rather than diminishes it, who see you clearly and reflect back to you a version of yourself that is more aligned with who you truly are than who you have been performing to be. This arrival of aligned people is not accidental. It is a direct consequence of the inner shifts you have already been making, the releasing, the clarifying, the returning of energy. As you become more aligned with who you truly are, you naturally begin to attract people who match that alignment. The old, mismatched connections begin to fall away, as we discussed earlier, and into the space they leave come connections that feel entirely different, easier, more authentic, more sustaining. For Leo, genuine human connection is one of the primary joys of being alive. You shine brightest in the presence of people who can truly receive your light, people who are not threatened by your warmth, not exhausted by your passion, not made uncomfortable by your need to be fully, authentically yourself. When those people arrive, when you find yourself in conversations that feel like home, in the company of individuals who get you in that effortless soul-level way, it is a profound signal. It means you are in the right current. The door is open, and through it are flowing the people who belong in the next chapter of your story. Pay close attention to the new connections forming around you right now. Some of them are not just new friendships or opportunities, they are portals. They will introduce you to ideas, to possibilities, to versions of yourself that you could not have accessed alone. Every significant leap in a Leo's life has been accompanied by the arrival of at least one person who helped open a door they could not quite see on their own. That person may already be in your life. Look around. They are closer than you think. Signal 7. The seventh signal is that your intuition is speaking more loudly and more clearly than it has in a long time. And more importantly, you are beginning to trust it. Not blindly, not without reflection, but with a growing willingness to honor what you feel in your gut, even when it defies logical explanation. Leo, you have always had strong instincts. There is a directness to your inner knowing, a clarity that cuts through complexity and points straight at what is true. But there are periods in every Leo's life when that inner voice gets crowded out by external noise, by the opinions of others, by fear, by the accumulated weight of too many compromises. During those periods, you can feel the intuition trying to speak and not quite trusting it enough to act on it. But the signal right now is that the noise is clearing. The volume of the external world is turning down, and the volume of your own inner knowing is turning up. You are hearing yourself more clearly. You are feeling the difference between a decision that comes from your true self and a decision that comes from fear or obligation. You are noticing when something does not feel right even before you can fully articulate why. And you are beginning to honor those noticings rather than talk yourself out of them. This strengthening of your intuitive trust is one of the most powerful signals that a new door is opening, because the path through the new door will require you to trust yourself completely. The next chapter of your life cannot be navigated by logic alone. It will call for your instincts, your gut-level knowing, your willingness to move toward what feels right even before you can prove it is right. The universe is sharpening this capacity in you right now precisely because you will need it for what is coming. Signal 8. The eighth signal is that you are dreaming differently, and not necessarily in the literal sense of nighttime dreams, though that may also be happening. You are beginning to envision a future that feels both larger and more specific than what you have been allowing yourself to imagine. There is a particular quality to the dreams and visions that arrive when a new door is opening. They feel urgent without being anxious. They feel possible without being naive. They have a groundedness to them that distinguishes them from simple fantasy. A quality of this is real for me, this is genuinely possible in ways that earlier versions of this vision were not. You know the difference between daydreaming and genuine visioning, even if you have never had words for it before. The genuine visions have gravity. They pull you. They stay with you. They return when you are not thinking about them, arriving again in quiet moments as if to remind you, this is where you are going. For Leo, vision is not just inspiration, it is navigation. Your visions of who you want to be and what you want your life to look like are not decoration. They are direction. They are the internal map that guides every significant move you make. And when those visions begin to feel vivid and compelling and genuinely achievable, as they are beginning to feel right now, it is because the door ahead is real, and your inner knowing is trying to prepare you for it by showing you what is on the other side. Do not minimize these visions. Do not dismiss them as wishful thinking or let the practical voice in your head immediately start cataloging all the reasons they might not be feasible. Give them space. Write them down. Let them develop. Because the vision you are holding right now is not just a dream, it is a preview. And what you do with previews matters enormously. Signal 9. The ninth signal is that obstacles that once seemed immovable are beginning to shift. Not because the external world suddenly changed, but because something inside you has changed, and the way you are meeting the challenges in your life is fundamentally different from how you met them before. Leo, there is a particular relationship between inner transformation and outer circumstance that is not always immediately obvious. When you shift internally, when you genuinely release old beliefs about what you are capable of, when you stop carrying old stories about your own worth and limitations, when you begin to operate from a different energetic baseline, the obstacles that your old self would have found insurmountable begin to yield. Not because they have become smaller, but because you have become larger. Not because the world has gotten easier, but because your capacity to engage with it has expanded. This is what is happening for you right now. You are approaching the challenges in your life with a kind of groundedness and creativity that was not fully available to you before. You are finding solutions where before you found only walls. You are discovering resources, inner and outer, that you either did not know existed or did not believe you could access. The obstacles are the same. You are not. And the difference is everything. When you notice this, when you catch yourself handling something that would previously have stopped you cold, handling it with a calm and capability that surprises even you, mark it. Acknowledge it. Let it serve as evidence that you are already becoming the version of yourself who belongs in the next chapter. Because that is exactly what it is. Signal 10. The 10th signal is that gratitude is arriving more naturally and more deeply than it has in a long time. Not a performed gratitude, not a gratitude you are forcing because you know you should feel it, but a genuine, spontaneous recognition of the beauty and the gifts that are already present in your life, even before the big changes have fully arrived. This is significant because genuine gratitude, the kind that wells up naturally from a place of real recognition, is one of the most powerful frequencies a human being can hold. It is not passive. It is not resignation. It is an active, energized state of receiving, of noticing, of being truly present to what is already here. And when that state begins to arise naturally, without effort, it means the internal landscape has shifted profoundly. It means the scarcity and contraction of the previous season are genuinely releasing their grip. For Leo, this kind of gratitude is also deeply connective. It brings you back into relationship with the beauty of being alive, with the richness of your own experience, with the people and moments and opportunities that are already surrounding you. And that connection is generative. It generates more of what it recognizes. It opens your eyes to possibilities that were always there, but that you could not fully see when you were in a more contracted state. Notice when gratitude arises naturally today. Not just for the big things, notice it for the small ones, for the morning light, for a conversation that felt real, for a moment of unexpected beauty in an ordinary day. These small moments of natural gratitude are the universe confirming, gently and persistently, that you are in the right current, and that the door ahead holds more than you have yet allowed yourself to imagine. Signal 11. The 11th signal, the final one, and the one that brings all the others together into a single coherent truth, is a feeling of readiness. Not the forced performance-based readiness of someone who has decided to be brave whether they feel it or not, but a genuine, quiet, whole-body readiness that arises from somewhere deep inside you and simply says, "It is time." This readiness does not require you to have everything figured out. It does not require you to see the entire path before you take the first step. It does not demand certainty about outcomes or guarantees about what lies ahead. It is not the absence of fear. Fear may still be present, sitting quietly alongside the readiness, not canceling it out but simply accompanying it. Real readiness is not fearlessness. Real readiness is the decision to move toward what matters even while the fear is still there. Leo, you are ready. Not because everything in your life is perfect or resolved. Not because all the old patterns are fully healed or all the old wounds are completely closed. But because you have come through enough. Because you have done the inner work of the previous season, even when it was hard, even when it was invisible to everyone around you, even when you were not sure it was making any difference. Because you have held on to the vision of who you truly are even through the periods when circumstances seem to contradict it. Because something in you, stubborn and luminous and undefeatable, refused to let go of the knowing that more was possible. That refusal is why the door is open. That stubbornness of soul, that refusal to accept a diminished version of your own life as the final word, is what the universe responds to in a Leo. And it has responded. The signals are real. The opening is real. The readiness that you feel, even if it is just a flicker right now, is real, and it will grow stronger with every step you take toward it. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are. The 11 signals were not here to simply describe what is happening around you. They were here to remind you of what has always been true about you, that you are a being of extraordinary light, that your capacity to rise is built into the very fabric of who you are, and that when the universe opens a door for a Leo who is truly ready, what walks through that door is not just one person's better life. It is something that illuminates everything around it. The door is open, Leo. It has been open for you. What you do next writes the beginning of the story you have been meant to tell all along. Step through it. The light is already on the other side, waiting for you to bring yours.